Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer board game review, and today's game up on the tabletop is Legends of the Arena. This is a game that plays roughly 2 to 6 players, ages 14 and up, and it takes roughly about 10 minutes per player to play. So in a 3-player game, it's 30 minutes. This is a 2D side-scrolling combat game, similar to Exceed, with the unique aspect of adding in some complexities and mechanics that are similar to the game Super Smash Bros., meaning that you're not going to actually remove HP points and drop the player to 0 and they go down. You'll actually be trying to knock them out of the arena. And as you can see here, this is the arena. And your objective is to simply do damage to your opponents, increase their fatigue, and push them past their limit so that they will get pushed off of the game board. Depending on the number of players you're playing will determine how many stock that you have and if you have to replace your guy or not. And once your opponents run out of stock, or depending on the variant you play, you will be the winner. But the idea is simply to knock players or opponents off the game board. Talk about how to set the game up, how to play, and then of course, my review. Setting up the game Legends of the Arena is quite simple. There's going to be 7 cards in the box, and you will take these out to create the main game board. Take the 2 end tiles and place them on the end, and the 5 middle ones and place them in any order to create a rectangle. From there, you're going to take spawn points in a 2-player game or team-based game and place 1 on either end of the middle tile here. These are the places where you're going to be spawning characters for the correct teams. Then, this is a 2-player setup, so I'll just talk about the 2-player. We'll go into detail about the other ones later, but each player is going to get a unique character to play with. I'm playing as Sabo, and the other player is playing as Alicia. And basically, each player is going to get stock based on the number of players playing the game. In a 2-player game, everybody just gets 1 stock. Then, you're going to get a deck of cards for your character. To make up your deck, you're going to take the silver bordered cards on the left-hand side here, shuffle them up, and then you take your ultimate card and place it on the bottom of the silver bordered cards and make a deck. The rest of the cards, which are going to be more than that deck, are going to have a black border. These are your basic cards. You'll take these and simply have them as your hand. And then any tokens that you might have will go next to your character board, as well as a fatigue marker that will start on the start space. Take your character, choose the team you're going to be on, and place it on the spawn point or the warp point of that location on the board. In a 2-player game, somebody will pick red and someone will pick blue, and have these characters facing the middle of the game board. Set aside the extra stock tokens, fatigue markers, push markers, and standees, and push away all the extra characters and decks, the timer, etc., etc. And the last thing that you'll do is you'll take this initiative marker and place it somewhere within reach on the game board. And there you go, that's the setup for the basic game. For multiple players, you do the exact same thing as far as each player getting a character. You'll increase the amount of stock each team has, and the players will be selecting teams of their characters and placing them on the specific locations. In a free-for-all variant, though, you'll simply take 1 location in the middle and place the little portal there, and everyone will spawn there facing the same way, and so you can have a 6-player free-for-all right in the middle there. It's a little different, but it plays similarly to how the game I'm going to explain plays, and we'll cover a little bit about this in the review. But there you go, that's the setup. How do you play? To play the game Legends of the Arena, you're going to want to follow your card here. This card will explain each of the 4 different phases in a round, and then you'll rinse and repeat this until somebody meets the victory condition of what you're playing. In this case, it's a 1-player versus 1-player mode, so the first player to knock off one of their opponents is the winner. And you will go through these steps here. Some characters will have unique special abilities or a setup that you'll have to include or change based on the character that you select. And on the opposite side here is just kind of a little bit of a bio about your character. So I've got my Sabo here, and I am now ready to begin the start of the game. So I'm going to start by drawing a card. I'm going to draw a card from this deck of 4 cards, and it'll give me one of my unique special cards, which I'll add to my hand. Now I've got a lot of cards here, and everyone else will do the same. Now, if you were to draw a card from this deck, and there are none, you can choose to reset it. You'll take all of your special cards that are in your hand and in your graveyard, and you can shuffle them and create a deck again, and then draw from that. So there's always a way for you to get special cards, but the cost of it is, if you're holding these special cards that you haven't utilized, they'll go back to your deck when you formulate a new special deck. And of course, when playing your ultimate card, The moment you play that, that's removed from the game. You'll never get to use it again. It's a once per game card. So we've drawn our cards, or reshuffled and drawn. And now we're going to go ahead and play the select portion of the phase. We'll take 3 cards here, and we will organize them from top to bottom and place them somewhere within reach. And that will be our selected phases for the round. 1, 2, and 3. And each player will do that. Alicia will also take their card, select their 3 cards in any order that they would like, and place them down. And now they have their select 3 as well. Now we're going to play. The play is the most complex aspect of the game. It's where all the meat and potatoes comes in. Each player is going to reveal their first card on the top of their stack. Then you'll check the speed of the card. Your card is going to have a number of different things on it. The top left is going to be your speed, followed by what your card does in symbol form. And then the text below the art is going to have what your card does in writing. And then on the left-hand side, it'll tell you what type of attack it is. This is a flying punch here. So we're going to check speed. I have 32 speed with my flying punch. And Alicia has got a 30 speed smash. So the player who has more speed is the one who is going to get to go first. If there was a tie, meaning we both had 30, the player who has initiative is going to be the one that gets to decide who goes first. And how that's going to work is you will read the card from top to bottom. Flying smash or flying punch. Remove Sabo from the arena. And then at speed 21, I'll return them to that same space and facing, and I can strike 3 at a range of 0. So he is now removed, and we're going to wait until 21. So, okay, now 30. He will strike 3 at a range of 0. Well, 0 is the space that they are currently on, and so they do no damage to no one. Nobody's there. Sabo will return, and then Sabo will do his damage at the range of 0, meaning that nobody was there. But if she were to be here and he were to return, he would do that damage to her. And because nothing happened, which will happen quite a bit in this game, you will discard these cards, and you will continue. Now discard, you'll set them aside. And then you'll continue. You'll flip over your next set of cards. We have a shot, and we have a back. Well, this is 40 speed, and that's 30, so we'll go ahead and do this one first. If your back is against the edge of the arena, you will turn, and now you can choose to move backwards once, and if I wanted to, I could turn. I'm just going to go ahead and move backwards once. And now we have this shot here. Shot is going to be 30 speed, and it will strike 1 at a range of 1 or more. Well, here's range 1, range 3, it will do a shot of 1. What happens when combat initiates in this game when you're trying to hit somebody, you will check to see the range. If you meet the requirements of the range, you will check to see the strike value. If the strike value is higher than the defensive value of the player during that phase, you are going to fatigue that player by 1. Regardless of damage, you're not worried about damage, you're just worried about, is your strike higher than the defense of your opponent? And if that is the case, they get fatigued. From there, now you're going to take your strike minus the opponent's defense or block, and then you're going to check the number on the green row that many spaces away and add push tokens to your opponent based on the direction you're facing. So in this case here, I moved his start to 0, and then I'm going to do a 1 to his 0, which will push up. I'll just look at the next right-hand side, 0, in which case I don't add any pushes. It'll be add 0 pushes going to the left. But let's say that it was farther along, and there was a 1 adjacent to my fatigue. That would add 1 push to the left for you guys. In which case, after they have both resolved, everything's resolved, you're going to actually go ahead and push. And you'll push players based on their push markers, and then you'll remove the push marker from the character. And that is how you're going to be able to push players off of the arena. The more fatigue they have, the more damage you do, the more likely you'll give them push. And push can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, depending on how far along they are on this track. And if you knock them off the arena completely, that's a knockout. That's what, the Super Smash Brothers, how you throw them off the arena because they've been too fatigued. That basically knocks the player out. And if you have stock, you can bring your character back. And that's how combat works. It's always the same. It is my strike, does it hit? And if it hits, do I do more damage than defense? If you don't, nothing happens. If you do, increase the fatigue of the player by 1. Check to see the damage minus the block, and then look at the green green spaces adjacent to your fatigue marker, and if there's a number there, you have push tokens that you will add to the player, push the players, and then finally, you're going to recover. You will take back any of the, let's see, we played all 3 rounds, we'll take back any of the black cards, we'll discard any of the unique cards, and if you played an ultimate, you'll remove that from the game. And you will rinse and repeat this step over and over again until basically somebody has been pushed off of the map or lost all of their stock as a team. Or if you're playing the free-for-all mode, you knock 2 players off of the game board and there is no stock. It's just whoever can knock off 2 players first is the winner. And that's the basic idea of the game. You will draw a card, stack up 3 cards, and then everybody flips the first one in order, the second one, the third one, checking speed, seeing if they hit. Do they block? Are they going to be able to move and sidestep and all these other kind of cool things that they can do? And then, of course, they will recover, taking cards back, losing those cards, discarding the ultimate card, and repeating this step until somebody wins the game. Legends of the Arena. So, there you go. That's how you play the game. Well, what do I think about this side-scrolling 2D combat game? So after going through the rules of this game, but even before playing them, the first thing I thought about was the Exceed game, the Exceed fighting card game based on Level 99's design, due to how the game is set up and how it plays, because it is very, very similar. Basically, you're going to have characters opposing each other on opposite sides here, facing each other, starting with a set of cards, playing those cards to move your characters around, fighting each other, and reducing their HP. Now, where this game differs from Exceed are a few. The main aspect is that now you can play up to 6 players with this game in a free-for-all mode where all players are going to start facing the same direction in the middle tile of the game, and everyone spawns in the middle. And there's no stock limit. You play as many times, you come back as much as you want, but your objective is to knock 2 people out. Or when you are playing a team variant, you'll have 2 players on each side, or 3 players on each side of the board here, fighting against the other team, reducing their stock and bringing their characters back. So now you have a multiple player variant, whether it be cooperative with each other on teams or completely against each other. Now, that is obviously the biggest one, but the other aspect of this game is you're no longer doing damage. You're not trying to reduce your opponent's HP to 0 like you would in Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom or Tekken. Instead, you would be trying to knock them off the game board like Super Smash Bros. Basically, you reduce their meter, get their meter high enough, you know, like in Smash Brothers, how you get somebody to like 100%, 200%, and they get more likely to be pushed off the arena. If you can push their fatigue marker to 6, and then you do 2 damage to them, that is 3 push markers in the direction you're facing, and that is quite a lot. 1, 2, 3. That'll knock you off the game board if you're not in the middle or closer to the player than that. So you can start knocking people off the more damage that you deal. What's also interesting too is as long as you perform the hit, regardless of how much damage you do, you fatigue them once. And there are other ways to fatigue players, and that is this marker that slowly pushes the player to their fatigue without actually doing any push to them, right? If you do 1 damage and they have 0 defense, it's going to be a 1 push and then check the number on the right hand side. If it's 2 damage to 0 defense, it would be 1 push and check the number 2 spaces to the right hand side to see if you push. And eventually this marker is just going to fill up. And all players have a chance of winning, and even when you make mistakes in this game, there's always an opportunity to come back, because there's a lot of, it's like a rock, paper, scissors element, but with a lot more control and a lot more variable manipulation. You are able to select 3 cards and organize them how you feel your opponent is going to act, and you're going to counter them. Your unique cards will come back to you, but there's a cost to them, and there's a challenge to get them back, whereas your ultimate is a one-time use, and ultimates are very, very powerful in this game. For instance, the Dragon Unchained is Sabo's, and it says for the rest of the game, whenever you pull a foe or place 1 or more push tokens on a foe, you fatigue that player, which is very, very useful, pushes their marker up. If Sabo also has a unique ability, placing down spike traps that start with 2, and when a player walks onto that space, they get fatigued, and if they ever walk on again, they'll get fatigued again and lose that token. It's a unique special ability he has, but he can get it back. Whereas Alicia is a damaging foe, ways in which she can combo out extra hits. She can move 1 forward, hit somebody by 1 and push them, and move 1 forward and hit somebody and push them, and rinse and repeat this by knocking them off the game board so that you are able to just do constant amounts of damage. And each character plays very differently as well. There are certain characters that actually change their character's standee from the guy with the gun into the guy that doesn't need guns because now he's a werewolf. There are 6 characters that I have here, and they all have their own unique aspects to them. We have the character ticket. Well, on each sequence, add an edit to the top of your action stack, and in the first round, flip and resolve both the edit and the card beneath it. The edit happens before any other cards, a way to completely change up the gameplay style for a specific character. Some characters are not going to have abilities, but that's okay because each character's deck of cards and the ultimate and special effects are a little different and chained based on the character that you're playing as. Regardless of the gameplay is similar with each character that you play. Your objective is to fatigue players as much as you can, then do as much damage as you can to give them push tokens to slide them off of the arena and successfully remove a stock from your enemies and eventually knock them all out. And that is like the whole aspect of the game. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Exceed. I think that's a lot of fun. And this one does enough different that I enjoy this one as well. Now, would I have both of them in my library of games? I don't know. But I really do like the aspect of having teams and also playing a free-for-all where everybody can play Exceed all at once now with this specific type of a game. They are very similar in nature with the 2 main unique aspects to them, the knockout aspect and the multiplayer aspect to this game, which I really do enjoy. I think that's a lot of fun, and I'll probably do a stream on this one just to show you guys what it's like because I really enjoyed it. Each character feels very different, the cards are unique, the abilities are powerful. It always has some great feel-good moments and some great feel-bad moments as well, meaning that like you thought you had the best laid plans and you made that one mistake which cost you that one push, or it cost you you go in to do the damage, the guy disappears. Now, you would have just killed him here, but sadly, because he disappeared, he comes back, he hits you, and now you fly off to the edge there. Speaking of that, there's also another little quick rule I forgot. When you get to the edge, you're actually always going to move forward 1 space and always turn inward. So you're never going to be hanging off the edge. Just like in Smash Brothers, how when you get to the edge there, you like grab on. In this game too, you basically hop up and move forward. So you're always going to have at least 1 away from the edge if you survive by getting to the sides here. Artwork's great. Love the artwork, love the style of the game. I love the fact that they have a double-sided kind of board here so you can switch up the style of terrain if you want. It doesn't do anything, but it's just a nice little added bonus. Of course, there are ways that you could add little aspects to the board itself, which characters on their own do that, like Sabo with his traps, placing them on the game board as well. So what's here is enjoyable. Love the aspect of multiplayer, like the artwork, like the style of game. It feels different to Exceed as to what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish, but there's no getting away from the fact that it has similarities to it. Love the speed aspect of the game. It works really well, and the game is very simple. You draw a card, select cards, place them in order, play them one at a time, all simultaneously, check the speed for each one of them, do them, and then recover the cards that you gained. Discard all the cards that are unique and remove the ultimate if you played it. And there you go. That's the game Legends of the Arena. This game for me is a solid pickup. If you've never heard of a 2D side-scrolling game, never even knew about it, then this is an easy grab if you're looking for something like this, a little bit of like a Smash Brothers multiplayer arrangement. If you're looking for something that's like a more 2-player, specifically more content, then maybe it's going to be the Exceed, right? Because that's got way more characters and way more different customizations. But for right here, what they're trying to do with this game, it is standout. It does its own unique things, and the characters are all very unique. Yeah, I dug this game. We're going to play this live, so you guys can see it and watch it played. But yeah, for us, solid recommendation for a 2D side-scrolling game. We had a lot of fun with it, even though I lost every game. Thank you guys for watching another Unfiltered Gamer board game review for the game Legends of the Arena. If you're interested in picking this game up, there's a link down below in the description for you to go ahead and back this game. And of course, if you would like, you can hit that subscribe button, bell notification button, and if you really want, you can watch our live streams every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. PST, where we play games just like this one here. In fact, that is the plan, is to play this game to show you guys what a 2D side-scroller looks like. We never played Exceed live, so this will be a good one to do, especially because this one plays more than 2 players. In our stream, we always have at least 4 players, so this will be a cool one to try out. And I'll show you guys just how terrible I can be at 2D side-scrollers. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I look forward to probably not being the legend of the arena in the next live stream with you next time.